Welcome to the Washington Wiz Kids Podcast. Yes, sir. I am your host, Fred Sales. You're probably like, why are you so excited? Because the Wizards play basketball this month. I've been waiting a long time to see my Wiz Kids play. And I'm excited to see the young boys play. I want to see how they've developed, who's gotten better, who's going to stand out, who's going to be that lead guy, who's going to be that dog, which one of my youngest is going to be that dog. And we're going to talk a little bit about that today. But training camp started this week. So when training camp happens, you got media day, players, coaches, GM, front office, everybody's talking, right? So there's a few quotes I pulled up that I wanted to respond to that I was like, all right, this is worth talking about to the people, to the Wizards fans, to y'all. All right. So the first quote is from our head coach, Brian Keefe. Brian Keefe. This is a good one. He says, check it out. He says, we're still in the building phase. We're still in the building phase. We're still in the acquiring talent phase. But we obviously have lots of talent in the guys on the roster. People are going to start separating themselves. We're going to see that as that comes. But that's part of the healthy competition that we're expecting to see in our gym. All right? AKA translation, guys, we're going to lose a lot of games next season. We're going to lose a lot of games. And let me tell you why. And if you know, you know. If you don't know, I'm going to let you know. All right? So the Wizards' 2026 first-round pick, it conveys to the New York Knicks. All right? But it is top 8 protected. Okay? So that means that the Wizards got to finish with the worst 8th draft odds. They need the 1 through 8th pick in the draft. Anything over 8, guess what? That pick goes to the Knicks. And last time I checked, the Wizards need as many top draft picks as possible. All right, we've been having a lot of bad luck in the draft. That one year, we were like one ping pong ball away from getting Wemby. Which is crazy. That I feel like we had him, but they didn't want him to come to the Wizards. Obviously, the connection with Tony Parker, the Spurs, but we're not going to talk about that. That's in the past, and we only talk about DC hoops here. Anyway, so last year, we thought we were going to get like the number 2, 3, at least one of those top 3 to get one of those top 3 guys, and we ended up with the 6, but I like who we ended up with, Trey Johnson, and we're going to talk about him a little bit. So, like I said, we need to keep that pick, and we need to let the young boys play. They need to compete. We need to see who's going to be a part of this core moving forward. Because not all of our young guys, we have a lot of young guys on the roster, and I'm going to do a roster evaluation before the season starts, and we're going to run through the roster top to bottom. We're going to talk about, expected role, bold prediction, what I expect. But not all these young guys are going to make it. So Brian Keefe is pretty much saying, look, we are still in the business of acquiring talent, right? But we do have a lot of talent here, and we're going to let it all sort itself out, especially in this training camp and this season. So, guys, a lot of y'all like, oh, the East is going to be weak this year. We need to get in the play-in. No, we don't. We don't need no play-in, no nothing, okay? We're going to talk more about this roster as we move forward towards the start of the season. But, I just wanted to bring that up, man. Keefe knows the plan. The GM, Will Dawkins, front office, Ted Leonsis, ownership, they all sat down with Brian Keefe, and they told him the vision, and he picked it up. I mean, this is like the perfect quote, man. All right, so let's keep going. I want to get into the players, man. Let's talk about the players. Let's talk about the rookie we drafted with the number 6 pick. Okay, Trey Johnson, who I like, and we're going to talk about him. And I think that he's going to end up being our lead scorer. Maybe not this season, maybe later in the second half of the season, but I think that he's projecting to be our guy that goes and get a bucket. Okay, so they were asking Trey Johnson, he was saying that he doesn't picture himself being wide-eyed, intimidated by his NBA counterparts, right? He says, quote, I got to work with my favorite player when I was getting recruited by Texas. Y'all know who that is. Y'all know who it is. I got to go to work with KD. KD from around the way, you already know. that was kind of my starstruck moment. And after that, I don't think I have to worry to have any of those anymore, right? So Trey Johnson's not phased. The dude, you know what I heard about Trey Johnson? All he want to do is hoop. They said he hooped too much. He need to get like some hobbies off the court. But I would love my franchise player, one of my core players, all he want to do is hoop. He not worried about this person, that person, Luka, LeBron, KD, and Edwards. He's not worried about being starstruck when he get on that court. He going right at these dudes, man. That's what a dog do. And I think, you know what? We're going to get in that. I think Trey is going to be our lead dog, but there's another guy we're going to talk about that get me real excited. We're going to talk about him soon. All right, so let's keep going. A.J. Johnson. You know, A.J. Johnson, man. So apparently, all right, so we got our four guys. Apparently A.J. Johnson, I'm sorry. We got two Johnsons. Pause. But A.J. Johnson, I like him, man. We picked him up from the Bucks last season in the Kyle Kuzma trade. Yes, he got bigger. He looks bigger. Apparently he put on 9 pounds of muscle, guys, and he grew a half an inch because he was looking like he was like a $140 soaking wet last season, like a little skinny ass nigga. But he put on some weight. He's looking good. And this is what the second-year players are supposed to do. You're supposed to get stronger, get bigger, get more physical. You know the grind of the NBA now. This is when you really got to, your second season is when you got to start to put that weight on, put that man muscle on. And you know the grind of the NBA. You know the schedule. You've been through it. This is your time to really, I'm not saying take a big step, but you got to take a noticeable step, right? So these 4 guys we're about to talk about, including Trey Johnson, also Bub Carrington. So Bub apparently put on, so he was 193, 190-ish last season. Now he's up to 204, and he says he's probably going to play around at 200. I like that for Bub because Bub talked about how he wants to get downhill and get to the rim. And I like that for him. I don't think that he can just shoot a lot of pull-up jumpers. Bub's got to get to the cup, and he's got to get easy buckets, right? He's got to get to the free throw line. So I will be looking for Bub to see him get to the line, man. Get in there. Get down there. Be a playmaker. Create. And putting on that weight, he's going to be able to take on that physicality of the bigs that's trying to block his shot. So I like that. I like that, Bub. Looking forward to him having a good season, good sophomore season. A guy I'm pretty excited about. I'm going to spend a little time talking about this guy, too. Give me a second. Give me 1 second, man. Kyshawn George. Kyshawn George says he added 4 pounds of lean muscle mass in the summer. He played at about 200 last year. He's up to 209. I like that for him. He's a versatile wing. He doesn't need to be way too much because he needs to have the advantage on the wing to go past guys if he's playing a 3, 4, whatever, right? But let's talk about Kyshawn George for a minute because he says he wants to make it a point of being aggressive. That's what he wanted to work on over the summer. And when I watched the first summer league game, he was aggressive. He was cooking. And he was really playmaking. His jumper looks better. I like what I saw. And he says he wants to create shots for himself, his teammates, and be less indecisive when he gets into the paint. He worked with the Wizard staff for most of the summer on that specifically. I like that. I like what I hear. And guess what, man? I got bold predictions coming later as more videos and content come out. But I'm going to go ahead and throw this out there right now because I'm not saying I want to be the first to throw this out, but I'm going to throw this out there. So with Bilal Coulibaly recovering from thumb surgery, Kyshawn George is going to have a breakout season, guys. This is going to be, you're going to notice him. Like a lot of people that were fans, they really didn't watch a lot of games last year. Maybe they stopped watching the Wizards, but this guy made some strides in his rookie season, and I think that he's really gonna show y'all something, man. And with Coulibaly out to start the season, Kyshawn George has the opportunity to solidify himself and show what he can do in year 2. And I'm excited to see what he's gonna do. All right, we're gonna talk about my boy Alex Sarr, man. I got a lot to say about Sarr. And what I'm about to say is really just tough love from a big bro. Okay? So let's talk about Sarr. What I like is he played at 205 last year, which is That's small. He's up to 224. Ooh, I like it. I want to see it on the court. I want to see how he uses his 224 on the court. Because honestly, last season, we're here. We keep it real. We're straightforward. Alex Sarr, you was playing real soft last season. And I think, like, if I told him that to his face right now, he'd be like, I was playing soft. There were times he was real timid. He would pull up. Like, he'd drive by a guy, he'll fake the three, drive. And I'm like, go bang on him. And he don't even do it. It's just, he like gets timid, shoot a little jumper. No, you are 7 foot and you 224 now. I need to see you banging on him this summer. I need to see you banging on him this season. Please. I need to see some posters, Sarr. You got the ability, man. You long, balls. You got the skill set to be like a semi-unicorn, not like Greek Freak or Wemby style unicorn, but he could be like a little unicorn. You know what I mean? And he's got the ability, man. He just got to get down there and throw his weight around. Oh, I need to see that dog in Sarr year 2. I need to see a dog. That's what I want to see out of you. All right. Last but not least, the guy I was talking about, I was excited to talk about. Shout out to Cam Whitmore, man. What a trade. What a trade. We're going to talk about Cam Whitmore on this channel, I believe, more often. I'm excited we got Cam Whitmore. He from round away. You know what I'm saying? If y'all didn't know, he from the city, Southeast to be specific. So Cam mentioned that his father used to surprise him with Wizards tickets. Imagine like playing for the team in the city you grew up in. Imagine if like you're a Wizards fan and you grew up to play for the Wizards. Like, a lot of people say like, a guy shouldn't go home and play for his home team. I don't think that's going to be a problem with Cam Whitmore. I think this guy is focused. He's ready to show what he can do. So they asked him, how does it feel about, having a greater role with the Wizards compared to a more limited role on a contender like the Houston Rockets last season? They were number 2 in the West. And you know what he said? He said, I've been looking forward to that opportunity since July 5th when I got traded to the Wizards. I mean, this dude locked in, man. He's ready to showcase his talent. And I really think that he is a toss-up. I think we're going to have 2 lead dogs, right? But I think Cam Whitmore and Trey Johnson, they both have the potential to be lead dog, go give me a bucket right now type of scores. Do they start next to each other? I don't know. Long term, I can see more Cam being that guy off the bench. I can see Trey, obviously, starting number 2. I can see him playing next to each other, too. But then you got a guy like Kyshawn George factoring into that, right? You got Bilal Coulibaly. These youngins got to play. They got to play. They got to play it out this season. We got to see who's the dog, right? Who's going to go out there, get a bucket? Who's going to play defense? Who's going to hit shots? It's going to be an interesting season to watch the Wizards, the young Wiz kids develop. And don't look too much into the losses. I know we're going to do a lot of recaps this year, a lot of sad recaps, but hopefully it won't be that sad. Maybe we lost by 10. My young boys put up a fight. Trey Johnson had 25, 30. Cam Whitmore had 30 burgers and 40 burgers. That's what I want to see this season. So I'm excited. I just wanted to talk to y'all about, what I picked up for Media Day. And we'll be talking about training camp as it go. And we're gearing up for the season, man. So once again, watch the Wiz Kids Podcast. I'm your host, Fred Sales. Sometimes they call me Federico Sales. That's what my Spanish homies call me. Just joking, but Wizards content. Let's go.